progress. If they want a war, we give them one. If I got to bring 3 million black people to Wilmington, Delaware and march on the city, that's exactly what we do. If I got to take them to court and sue them for $5-10 million for constantly discriminating against us, that's what we'll do. Whatever it takes. I'm built for it. I hope they are.
Now, you always talk about black ownership and black business.
That's right.
Why do so many of our institutions struggle while others flourish with less resistance?
Because black people love white people more than they love themselves. Black people want to be accepted by white people more than each other. The black American dream is to be amalgamated with the Caucasian community. We don't want an all black hospital. We don't want all black communities. We don't want black supermarkets. We want to be accepted by white people. That is the dream. We raise our kids to go to school, get an education, move out your neighborhood into a white one. And if you buy a house around white people, you're considered a success in the black community. That was true 100 years ago. That's true today. Who really wants to be part of a black community? I do, but there's not a lot of us who are. You can't build independently for black people when you don't have enough black people who wants to support it. The Garvey House in North Philadelphia. I told you my mother bought my sneakers from a Jewish-owned sneaker store. There was a brother who opened up a black sneaker store right across the street. He competed with the Europeans head on. Cheaper prices. Guess what? He had to close down in 1 year. Black people still want to the Jew instead of the African. We believe the white ice is colder. Why do successful black men marry and date out their community more than all other men put together per capita? We hate ourselves. And this is why I always say you have to have a psychological revolution before you can have an economic one, political one, social, intellectual, spiritual. If you don't change the way black people think, you don't change anything else about us. That's why I'm starting with FDMG. People say, why are you starting with a school? You should be building an army. Ridiculous. If I build an army full of self-hating Negroes, do you know what they're going to do? The first time they get access to weapons, shoot each other. You have to change the way black people think, and I want to do that through the babies. It only takes one generation, 20 years of raising African boys and girls the right way, and you can have a whole new people. But you got to change the mind. The revolution begins in the mind. If there's no revolution in consciousness, there will be no revolution in reality.
Absolutely. So on top of that, if black America is ever going to truly be strong, who has to be built first? Education, money, media?
Education and economics go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. They're the left and the right foot of any serious revolutionary effort. And when I say revolutionary effort, that doesn't have to be military. You follow? That could be economic, that could be political. We're talking about a 360-degree change. You got to get the economics together. Because black people, why are we so dependent on white folks? Because we don't have no independent infrastructure. We talk about Black Wall Street. What made the Black Wall Streets great of the 1920s? The Rosewood, Floridas, and the Charleston, South Carolinas, and the Wilmington, North Carolinas, and the Tulsa, Oklahoma. They didn't need white people for anything. They had their own. In fact, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the white businessmen would come borrow money from the black businessmen until one day they got so jealous, accused the brother of sexually abusing a white girl, and that's what started the Tulsa Race Massacre. And of course, the oldest survivor of that massacre, Miss Viola Fletcher, I believe her name is, she just joined the ancestors a few weeks ago, right? And they refused, the state of Oklahoma refused to give her reparations. You gave the Jews reparations for a Holocaust that didn't even happen on American soil. You gave the Japanese reparations for the internment camps in World War II. But you're not going to give this queen mother one person, and there were 2 left, and I think she was the last, and you won't even give them reparations for what they've been through. They lived through it, and the state of Oklahoma struck down the reparations. But getting back to my point, Tulsa wanted to be independent. Wilmington, North Carolina wanted to be. Rosewood, Florida, they wanted to be independent. Black people don't really want to be independent. We don't trust and love each other enough for that. We always want white people involved. And until you have a transformation of consciousness, it'll always be that way. And it don't have to be that way. Chinese come to America, independent. East Indians come to America, independent. Arabs come to America, independent. All kind of Europeans come to America, independent. You got little Italy's, you got little China, you got Chinatown, you got little Cambodia. Where's little Africa at? Nowhere. Nowhere in black America can you go today and find a black community that owns its own bank, school, hospital, supermarket, manufacturing, and distribution. You need a bank to invest in the people. You need a school to teach the people. You need a hospital to save the people. You need a supermarket to feed the people. And you need a manufacturing and distribution sector to provide for the people the basic necessities they need and to provide them with jobs. Name me a black business in this country that can hire, that has 1,000 black people on their payroll. 1,000. And you got billionaires who don't even have 1,000 black people on their payroll. One of the biggest differences between the black billionaire and the white billionaire, or the black billionaire and the Chinese billionaire, is the Chinese billionaire and the white billionaire, they grow companies in their community. If there's an Asian billionaire, he got 25 Asian companies he can show that he created, not for himself, for his people. You go to the black billionaire, they might can show you one or two. You know why? Black people have no type of community consciousness. We do not believe in Ubuntu, an African principle that says I am because we are. Black people believe in the HNIC syndrome. I want to be the head Negro in charge. I want to look better than everybody else. And in order to do that, I got to keep them in the ghetto. I can't help them get out. You can't name me a rapper. Not one of them in this country. You can't name one who has built an independent black school for black children. Not one. Billionaire, millionaire, top 10, not one of them. Not one. And most of them come from a ghetto, and not one of them has built an independent school for black children. They got a bunch of charter schools, but charter schools is government money. That's a welfare check. You're a multi-millionaire. What you need with a charter school? Where's your independent school? You mean to tell me Dr. Umar got 2 independent schools, and you're a multi-millionaire and a billionaire, and you ain't even got one?
Let's give a scenario. If a 22-year-old man in Atlanta right now comes to you with nothing but hustle, what's the first real move you think he should make to build that generational wealth?
Well, number one, he got to find a job to take care of himself, right? Because the first of all necessities is self-preservation. So get you a job, stack your cash. I don't care if you got to work 3 or 4 of them. You got to stack your cash. And then my second thing to him is you either need to go to real estate school, stock and investing school, or trade school. According to some recent reports, plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs are on schedule to make more money than physicians, medical doctors, because there is such a need for them. And I can attest to that myself, because for the plumbing work we got done at FDMG, we paid over $100,000 for that. The electric work we got done at FDMG, we paid over $100,000 for that. The HVAC work we got done at